Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another stream. So, as usual, I would like to start with some of the updates for some of the work that I've been doing this past week, and I'm here in my test level. So I'm going to start with the, um, the entry sequence to the game. I've been working on fixing the plane flight, the kind of dropping out of the plane. And hey, Volker, welcome, welcome. And also, once you drop out of the plane, once you land, getting up and continuing on with the game. Along another update, and I'll show right after that, is I've been working on, fixing the mission, how it gets displayed on your device. I had there were some programming issues that I was running into, and it was not populating the proper directions to to the target where you needed to go. And so got that. Well, thank you, Volker. I'm excited about it too. Let me put it that way. But I'm hoping that within because I'm getting really close to getting like the first let's say mission starting of the game going. So that's quite exciting. There's been a bunch of little pieces that are starting to fall into place just to get things going. So yeah, I'll show you how in this test level how the level starts, and then we'll jump into the main world and we'll test it out there. All right. So when you start the game, like you're in the plane, and then I guess that was really short, and the plane is moving really fast. Let me see if I can have this move a little slower. One second, bear with me here for a little bit. And let's see. So that way I can show you like when it overlaps with the jump point, what you can do, kind of the message that shows. I think you were able to see it, but it was really brief because of the supersonic little Cessna plane that I have there. Hey, Beanos, welcome, welcome. And let me try and figure out where did I put that. Um, Hey, Atlantica, welcome, welcome. And let me try and maybe half the speed of what it was. We'll see if it's still going too fast. Yeah, so that way at least we can get a little bit of a feel for that. All right, so first all right, so it's moving a little slower. Right now it's just on a spline. It doesn't really do much. There's a little bit of banking happening here. There it is. So we get the jump point. I'm actually gonna make this be a little bit bigger because it's based on it's actually just an interactable, just like all the interactable objects that I have in the world. And when you overlap it, you get the message saying, okay, now you can press the button and you can do something. In this case, jump out of the airplane because that's what normal people do. And so let me just make this radius a little bit bigger on that interaction sphere. And where is it? Jump point. Let me see exactly if I can recall what the argument for that was. The radius, there it goes. Okay, so I'm just gonna, double this in size. That way we can get a little bit more time on that. And I'm also gonna decrease the time dilation just to make it slow time down even more than what it is. Okay, so let's start the game. And So yeah, the player hands, just like in the vehicle, they turn with the helm, and the helm is turned by the position on the spline. So once you jump, and there it goes. So you fall, and you get this little kind of closing of your eyes, just for you kind of passing out, so to speak. And then you get the little message at the bottom saying press space to get up. So once you press space to get up, you're back into your navigating self, so to speak. So the what I mentioned also with the little tablet is that now it's working out a little bit better to point to this person that I'm trying to find. So I know that she's over there, like about 130 meters, and I should have well, not have to like walk all the way there, but let's do a quick jog. And yeah, if I equip the tablet again, let's see, why did it not get updated? That's kind of, it's pointing me in the right direction, but I guess I might have found an error. Could be. Because it does not update the distance. It does point it to where that AI is, where I need to meet up with them. Parkour. Well, and actually, Volker, I um I was playing around with it, and it can sort of do some parkour. I have to be honest, not to the extent of like Dying Light, but yeah, it can climb over things pretty well. So let's see. Huh, that's still 138 meters. Why would that be? Because this is Jane here. So yeah, so you can interact with her. But I guess I'm finding an issue here. All right, so something to fix this afternoon. I do like the lumen reflections, like when you look around, you kind of that little tablet is a little bit of a mirror, so that's kind of cool. But but yeah, now previously this was before doing this fix, this was pointing to somewhere at like the 0, 0 location in the world for whatever reason. I couldn't figure out why, but eventually I managed to figure out the kind of this mission manager package that I had, and that I modified to work with this tablet and the way this displays things. But the distance is not updating properly, so I'll need to figure what that's about. Okay, so now let's oh, you know what? I think I might have an idea why. One second. This package has a cool little feature to delete the saved games because it does save the progress. So let me see if that might sometimes having that deleting that saved game is it usually addresses some of these issues. So let me delete that. And I'm just gonna start it without the flight sequence, and just start in like a development mode. And where is my level blueprint? And there we go. So now let's try this out. Because it was literally working the last time I tried it, so I'm not sure. I don't think I introduced, I hope I didn't introduce any issues. There we go. So that works. So you can see now um, the pointer is telling you where you need to go in the distance, and it also has this little thing that I've added where if you're on like let's see if this still works. If you're like a little higher up, it should have had like an arrow pointing down. I need to figure what that's about to tell you that the your destination point is like above you or below you. But I'm not sure why that one doesn't, it's not updating. So I'll need to take a look and see what's going on with the compass. But yeah, uh, so that's the update the main updates for the kind of the gameplay aspect of things. I think I've showed you last week how the enemy behaves, and it's a little smarter now. You know, when it chases you around, it can see you. Um, and I am not sure if I was able to. Maybe I haven't shown this. I don't, because I think I might have fixed this during the week, where you actually throw a distractor, and then unless the enemy sees you, it would go to check that one out, to check the you know, that noise that was generated. So let me add an enemy in here, and they're just gonna run their patrol path, which was around here. So let's see if I usually need to put it a little bit higher because it seems like they spawn through the floor. So there he goes, and you remember this part where it can like um, it fills up this little bar depending on whether he sees you or not. And unfortunately, I need to cancel it once it goes below 0. But and let me go into, oops, I think at this point he saw me. So he's gonna chase me around for a while, unless I can. I think I might have lost him. Almost, not yet. So let's see, hopefully. And now I'm gonna try and, oh, no, he found me. My bad. Let me try and just go into this view. It's kind of hard to tell where he is if I'm like not in wireframe mode. But oh, he came on the other side. So like I said, you know, it's getting a little smarter than before, just from the fact of him following you around. Let me see if I can like, nope. I should have made this a little bit of a bigger maze than I had before. Let's see, did I manage to confuse him? I think I did. All right, so let me throw a little bit of a distractor object and see if he's gonna go and check it out. Now he's like doing some investigating. Um, there you go. So he goes to check, and then now he checks this little object this time. And then if I throw another one over here, let's see if he's gonna go and check that. Oh no, I think he resumed his patrol path at this point. All right, so gonna try and throw another distractor here. See where what is he up to? So he's patrolling right now. He might have, I think that might have not been close enough. There you go. So now I've taken him off the patrol path and he's going to investigate the little rock that I thrown. And then let's try throwing another one. So now he's like, okay, well, what's going on over here? And he does this investigating for that first, and then he goes back to so see the chase status changed back to patrolling. So he's just gonna patrol around for until he sees me, I guess. So let's see if he sees me. As you can see, that little bar fills up again, and then he's gonna. I think he's out of bullets though. Let me see. Where is the little thing there? Overlay state. Where did I see that? Is out of bullets is false. Actually, he's got bullets, so I'm not sure why he's not firing. Anyways, but yeah, that was the other update. I'm not sure if I managed to show it last week, where you know, using the distractor can throw them off their scent, so to speak. You know, like they would they would go and investigate. That is only if he hasn't seen you recently. So once he sees you, once he stops seeing you, he's gonna go and investigate the last location you were at, and that's why he was able to find me, even though I was kind of running a little bit in circles. He was going to check my last location, and it just happened that his path uh, the way the pathing worked is it took him the same way that I was coming. So he's like, oh, here you are again. All right. Well, let's go into the main level here, and we'll try and play the same flight sequence, and then dropping out of the airplane at the first, well, not the first, but the first location from what I'm planning for the demo. And I'll show you a little bit of an additional area that I built just around that apartment building, and also a little bit more of some of the items that you'll see on some of the doors. And yeah, so we'll let this load here real quick. There we go. Oh, hey, Venus. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's how people have different schedules, and I totally get that. It's I try to at least keep it, at least recently, I've tried to be consistent with the timing as far as, streaming at around at 1 p.m. on the weekends. I'm hoping to like, hit as many areas of the world as possible. I know that's not it's hard to do because there's, countries out there that are like um, for their time right now is, probably like midnight. And so I know it's difficult, but I thought kind of middle of the day Eastern. I might get people from the West Coast. I might get people from Europe as well, some Asia as well. So maybe, try to get as many people as possible. Okay, and in here, you remember I had this spline kind of going around. Gamer, and there you go. Gamers never sleep. Exactly. That's also a thing. So I'm considering that aspect as well. Okay, yes. So this is our uh, plane crash spline, literally the name of it. And I got a couple of these drop points on it, and I just need to select a down plane for each one of these. And what we'll do is I'll fly through on this spline and actually choose the last one to jump out of, because this is where kind of the first, like I said, this is where I wanted to focus, like the demo in the beginning at least. And yeah, so let's try this out. Oh, and another thing that I did also as an update is the main menu. So remember last time when we were looking at it, we didn't have this, so like here you can like go into settings and like just the kind of the main menu of the game where you would like uh, start the game from. And then once you I kind of thought this, what's going on? Why did I lose focus on that? Let me, my apologies. That's an interesting issue. Like I went into the other menu. There we go. So once you hit the campaign button, you're gonna start loading into the game. And apparently the camera is a little bit poorly positioned. Oh, I know what this is. I did not account for this. Like I literally just did this work this morning, so I did not place the um, like whenever the game starts, basically is what it is. And whenever the game starts, I can show you if I'm not gonna have too much spaghetti on here. And I think this one is gonna be this one's a lot cleaner, but let me try and zoom in here as best as I can. So on begin play, if it's in dev mode, then just do that little loading screen and then jump directly into wherever the start, the player start object is. But if it's not dev, then I'm creating the little the main menu, and I'm adding that to viewport. And in my main menu, I have an event dispatcher, and I'm binding it here. So that way, if I click that button, what's going to happen? I'm going to load the main game, and that's going to do pretty much the same thing that I'm doing here, where I'm checking to see the world partition system if if the streaming has completed, and then I'm just going to initialize. I'm going to look for the player start tag in the world from where to initialize. The difference from this is that it's running this, is it the game first time? So if it is, then I am going to run the kind of the plane flight, and that's when the game starts. The one thing that I'm missing in here and is there's in my test level, there was a bunch of other stuff that I had going on over here that that now is different. So bear with me for just a little bit. I'm just going to go back into that test level and copy that section of code. It kind of relates to setting the camera to the plane camera, you know controlling the plane. Well, controlling the plane is a lot said. It's just kind of being able to move the camera around and look around a little bit, because you don't really have control over the plane itself. All right, so in here, where is it? I hated that whenever you exit the level, it shuts down this, closes this blueprint. All right, so if it's the game first time, I think this is all we need here. All right, let me just copy this. I hope the copy is gonna work across opening and closing levels. So we'll see right about that. All right, so it's just loading the level instances at the moment. All right, here we go. And in here, let's go into our level blueprint. And in where was it? Initialize. So here we're gonna have, if it's the game first time, basically like the first time you load into the world. And I'm just gonna paste all of this. Okay, so that's good. It got pasted. I was afraid I was gonna lose it, but all right. So let's try that again. Let's see if this works. All right, then start. We'll see what kind of mess I've created. Hopefully not too big. All right, so when we start the campaign, I mean, it shouldn't be. I think it should just be called new game. Campaign is not. And did I not set this to be? I thought I did set it to be first time. It's dev. And it is for the first time. I'm setting the planes. I'm attaching the character. Let's quickly, I'm going to try and troubleshoot this real quick. I did not get this one in before before showing it to you guys, so it might oh yeah, that's interesting. So it does not get to hit that point there. I'm wondering where is it failing? So let's try and start here. All right, so we're loading into the world, and even that one is not what am I missing here? Oh, huh, I think I might have inverted. Oh yeah, I have. So silly. It's actually I did not. I did not. I used um, the wrong output out of this. So this was the game first time, and this one is the one that should be connected here. So let me try that again. My bad. All right, let's take a look at it one more time. See if I got it right this time. All right, campaign. There we go. So from here, oh shoot, I hope it's did not, for whatever reason, I don't really understand. There we go. Whenever I try to debug, it doesn't debug properly. And it did not attach the character to this as I was hoping it would. All right, well, and the other thing is, of course, well, let me uncheck that. But I need to increase the speed. It's kind of just moving at that test speed that I had in the test level. Let me just make that move a little bit quicker. Let's just make it double. And we'll try to see if it moves a little bit better. I still need to check and see why the player did not get attached properly um, to the plane, which is 1 second. Yeah, let's try this one more time. All right, so let's do a quick debug here to see where my main character is at. Well, that's interesting. It shows it to be there, but oh, That's interesting. It's just kind of right outside of the aircraft. So I need to understand why that's happening here and not in the test level. But I think that should be we should be good to yeah, there he is. He's on the wing. Anyways, and but let's see if I just also wanted to show like how the world partition level works. As you can see, like that stuff in the distance, I might need to set it to a little bit of a bigger loading range, just because it's not loading as properly. And also that level is the one level with a bunch of merged assets that are like really big assets. So I think that might be causing some issues as well. Probably along, kind of creating these stutters. But here we are on the flight. I did not notice, and the only I did not notice the um, the message uh, to jump. So let's see when we're gonna hit the next one. Um, Kind of the next jump point. If any of that is gonna show. That jump point should have been like right around here. There it is. Yeah, that one did not get, and this is an issue that I've actually run into. I'm not sure if it's something that has to do with physics, but like I went through the ground when I fell down. So something that I'm gonna have to look at, because it happened in my test level where you would jump out of out of the airplane, and then once you land, there's like an event called on landed, if anybody's using anything like that. But when I landed, I like I said, I'm not sure if it's the physics or what it is, but I went through the ground, so I need to figure that part out. Uh, but yeah, it's jumping out of the airplane. This is kind of how the mechanics are gonna be like. Very rough stage. And yeah, so as far as the kind of the world building aspect of things, you've probably seen in like a previous videos, there was like this camping area over here. So I've linked that into the road, and we'll probably get a few some more trees around here. It's kind of barren. And also this part here, which was just kind of cutting off, and I didn't really like it. And as well, there was nothing on the back side of these buildings. And so I've created this little parking lot back here, and as well as this little like ramp slash boat launch over here with this little kind of a parking area. Most boat launches, they're kind of like that. They have like a little parking area here, and then just launching the boat. So that's kind of from the part of the world building that this is what the update for that was. And also another thing that I wanted to share is so a lot of these buildings are not going to be enter-able, but for a reason, because they were all kind of have these like immobilizers on them, like these door locks, so to speak. So basically like um, since there's going to be like a little bit of a high tech element in the game from the enemy side, there is something that I wanted to make it look, you know, it's not sci-fi-ish. This is definitely doable, but I wanted to look at a little bit more high tech, so to speak. And so these are going to be on the doors, just kind of blocking entrance, kind of like over here and in other locations as well. So I'm starting to kind of plan out the town itself, and like the areas where the NPCs are going to be, let's say, contained, by the bad guys, and you know, k- that limiting your access into it with weapons and so on. And so that's part of it. you'd be landing close to one of those, and you'd want to be able to gain entry. Uh, and Yeah, so that's a little bit of the update from the level design standpoint. And what I was hoping to do today is work a little bit on this little village, a little shack area just outside of town where some of the other workers might be living at. This is going to be like a little pond, so I'm just going to add the one of those water volumes in here. Let's see what kind of scale. This is pretty much where I had it originally, and I think that's gonna be fine. Just the scale that I need to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And of course, I do not want it to flood everything, so I might see if I can make it out of two pieces. I'm not entirely sure how that's if that's. I hope that's gonna work. Let's see. I've only played with these in at a kind of a bigger scale, so just one piece. But gonna try and see if I can make it so that I can like bring them together like so. There's gonna be some small terrain sculpting needed, but my biggest concern with these is since they're kind of like a enterable area, so to speak, is the transition between one onto the next when you're swimming in this little pond. And hopefully that's not going to make too much of an issue, but we'll see when testing. Okay, so that's those are in place. I think I'm just going to need to sculpt this up a little bit just so that this water is not coming through. Kind of like that. Let's just bring it up a little bit. And hopefully we'll also get to texturing these mobile homes at some point as well. But in the meantime, let's adjust the terrain to how these are placed. And I'm just going to move this level instance a little bit to the side, maybe like this. There we go. Something like that. That will be kind of like the main street, and I think that should be about right. Oop, that's too much. All right, so I think that should be good. I'm just gonna paint the kind of the dirt layer on top of this, especially like around the houses, so we don't get too much grass growing through the floors. Kind of like that. And along this little path here. All right, so that should be good. I'm gonna try and make this what it used to be. It was like a road here. So let's try doing that. Of course, just with the splines. I'm gonna start about here. So I was debating for a while where I wanna this kind of country road to meet with the rest of this, and I'm kind of thinking maybe behind the warehouse here. So let's see how that's gonna work. It's kind of coming back here, and then this one is gonna link into the road. But for now, let's make sure that the terrain gets sculpted. Just like that. All right, so we have the road. And for that, I usually just been using this little surface here. Just trying to reuse as much as possible. And I might need to go back to it to grab the materials. All right, so segments. Apply the mesh here. And you can usually just do like material overrides. And I got 2 of them. And that's what I'm saying. I need to to go back to this just to grab where my materials are. All right, so we got index 1 is going to be this one. And then second one is this one. There we go. And what we want to paint is paint the terrain to have that dirt underneath, just so that it helps with the blending. And of course, uh, not too much vegetation going through it. But having this on the edge of the road itself kind of helps with the blending here. Like right on the edge of the road. And of course, the procedural foliage volumes do not spawn any instances on top of this layer either. So. All right, maybe a little bit around here. I believe these are from the rock layer. So whenever next time I spawn these, should be fixed. I mean, there should be any of those big rocks in the road. All right, so that's better. We got the road going through. These houses on the side. Let's position it a little bit better. Just with the level instance, and I'm gonna try and see kind of to about there. Just be a little bit lower like that. All right, so that's good. I think the road itself could have been a little bit higher, so let's adjust that. So I got splines and this one here. Try and place it above, around where this one, these little pieces of plywood are at. Kind of about there. There we go. So that's a little bit better. It's almost there, I would say. Yeah, this road tool is really awesome. So I think it blends quite all right with because it's kind of the same texture. So this texture on this edge of the road is kind of the same texture with one of the layers in the dirt layer of the material. So now let's adjust uh, this little house here. I need to push it off to the side a little bit and then lower it. So let's just go back into edit. And from here, just going to try and select everything around it like this. And this is what's really nice about working with level instances. This helps so much kind of keeping things organized. All right, so from here, I'm just going to try and scooch this over here. There's a lot of these camera actors that I have selected, so that's why it's just moving really slow. Okay, so now just going to lower this a little bit, and then I'll adjust the road as well to follow that the line for that fence. So it's going to start there. Think that should be okay. All right, let's commit the changes. And now I'm going to try and adjust the road so that it follows kind of the line of the fence. Let's see where we have another one of these spline points. I think that could work at least for now. There's like a couple of some of the stuff that I've moved around a while back, and they're just kind of sunken into the ground a little bit, but we can fix that pretty easy. All right, so that's pretty good. Now we're just going to need to do a little bit of terrain sculpting, and also another thing that I'm going to do here is for these points, I'm going to try and do the side fall off to be 0. So the next time I sculpt it, or if I sculpt the terrain around it, these are going to have very little influence on that. Actually, let's do 100. We'll see how that behaves. All right, and for this one, let's do the same here. There's been some changes with the way the sculpting works for splines in 5.2. Not sure if it was working much better in 5.1. So maybe 5.3 will fix it. We'll find out. All right, so let's go ahead and sculpt around here. And as usual, I'm going to start off with the ramp. And I'm going to start from here to here. Sometimes these billboards make no sense on their scaling. Let's try like that. Apparently I didn't really do anything. Yeah, I did not want to reset. My bad. So let's place it here. All right, that's pretty close to where I wanted it. All right, let's go and just do some regular sculpting here. Might be a little bit too much to just do it with the ramp. I'm just gonna save real quick because sometimes whenever I undo in terrain sculpting, it just crashes the engine for apparently no real reason, but it does. All right, so I think we got everything sculpted out around the house. over here. Oh, did I just select something? All right, so this house is about where I wanted it to be. Let's try and redo all splines. So my hope with using the splines again to sculpt it is that I'm hoping it's gonna smooth out this area here, and we'll see how bad that's gonna turn out. Actually, it's not bad at all. I was expecting it to turn out quite a lot worse, but it's not that bad. Let me see if I can, just gonna save real quick. Let's see if I can undo. I'm a little bit afraid that might crash the engine. Oh, no, it didn't. Good. Hey, Mine Warden. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Okay, so as I was saying, I'm just gonna do this one at 50. Let's do a 50 fall off, and the same for this one here. And we'll see if it works with this little section here a little bit better. Yeah, no, it still did it quite strongly. So I might as well just leave it like that. I'm just gonna turn it, actually I'm gonna turn it down to 0. Because what I'm thinking, and I think this is what might have been happening, is let's do the control points here. Because this one, I think it's, as you can see, it's going a little bit too far that way. So I'm gonna make this a little bit, the road a little thinner, like that. And we'll try it again. See if that's gonna, yeah, see, there you go, it didn't affect it. And now I'm gonna try and get this one to be, let me see, so I got this here. Let's do 100. And this one over here to also be 100 for the fall off. Hopefully it's gonna kind of, like I said, smooth this out a little bit. Didn't didn't want to do it. I wonder why. I'm wondering if it just doesn't like sculpting what I've already sculpted with the other tools. Let's try and do 300 here and then 300 here. Yeah, I guess I just wasn't using the big enough amount. As you can see, this has got smoothed out just by the using that road. All right, well, let's kind of work a little bit. This used to be a parking lot, and before I kind of messed about with things and just broke things, so we'll turn that back into like a little bit of a parking lot with some of these kind of janky cars around it. So back into painting, and just going to be some dirt. This is also going to be like a dirt road, and we'll add that in here in a little bit. just park some of these cars around it. And before I do that, let me just grab a couple of these rocks that I have that I'm using for like edges, and I'll add it onto this section here. All right, let's just flatten this out a little bit. And then we'll adjust these little rocks here. I mean, they're more like boulders, but all right, let's jump back into our small village level here, and we'll try and place some of these cars around. And then maybe we'll do some trees as well. I'm debating whether to still use this. I think it might work out in here to try and place this little set of stairs. Something like that. And if anybody's wondering, I'm just pressing end, and what that does, it just drops the mesh on top of whatever's below it. I think it's usually on the terrain, but as you can see, like this one here did not really get placed right on top of the terrain. So sometimes it's kind of like a mixed result, I guess. But it's really helpful when it comes to placing things. Maybe it's just based on the pivot point. All right, so that one turned out okay. Let's adjust this little fence here. Try and place it right on the ground like that. There we go. That should work. We'll do a little bit of sculpting for the terrain around this area here as well. As you can see, this one is also a little bit flying up in the air, but we can fix that. All right. Well, that one's in place, I think. Just commit the changes. At least we don't have any more flying houses, which was kind of my my main goal. I just don't like when, don't like seeing like stuff floating like that. All right, well, I'm gonna smooth this out a little bit around here because we've done kind of some flattening, and usually that just sometimes messes with things. All right, and let's do this little, these stairs here. Okay, that should be good. And I'm gonna try and paint like some paths across this. And then using the dirt, uh, I think last time we did this, we were able to find like some little straight lines, but I can't recall if I'm hoping that when I did my last cleanup, I didn't like completely lose those, like something like these blood lines you see here. Hoping that I don't remember exactly what I called it. I kind of thought that I had it as line, so that's a kind of really straight line. See if I can still find it. Hey Miles, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. Let's see if I use this. I'm just curious to try it out. Not sure if it's gonna work. And yeah, it's really hard to see anyways. But I'm just gonna use the little grunge thing that I had here. And I'll try and dig up the other one from wherever I ended up losing it. But what I wanted to do is just use this to paint a little bit of a path going back here, kind of along the house. Guess we need to adjust this section here. Let's just do some flattening. All right, and then this little truck here, that's a little too much. I think that's exactly where it's supposed to be, but oh, good to hear, good to hear. Yeah, we can definitely chat on Discord, of course. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen today because I need to head on out after the stream. But yeah, do ping me and we'll definitely find some time to chat on it. All right, so I'm just gonna smooth this out a little bit around here. All right, things are starting to come together over here. Let's paint a little bit of mulch so we can get some trees going back here. I'll just need to resimulate this. All right, let's see how that's going to turn out. And we want to use the small area because the big area is going to take forever. But I'm going to need to lower it down because it does generate overlap. Um, it generates overlaps, and that's why, last time we were running into that issue where I was testing for the arm, but it was hitting something, and it was like one of the procedural volumes. All right, so let's try and resimulate this, see what we're getting. I was gonna say it's usually pretty quick. Okay, so there it goes. And now we got some trees back here, which is good. All right, yeah, that's quite happy with that. I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, so these are the rocks. So I'm just gonna need to resimulate those as well, so that they don't spawn on the road. And I guess I called it large rocks. I think that might cover the area. And resimulate. And yeah, there's probably going to be the logs, there might be like the logs as well that I need to do just because there's like some over here. This one seems to be taking a little bit longer. There might be a little bit more collisions that I need to account for, so it doesn't spawn or reduces the chances of spawning in like trees or stuff like that. Okay, there we go. So no more things on the road, and let's try the logs as well. Hey, Grawl, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Oh, and it did do that. Oh, this is actually part of the level. My bad. Didn't realize that I ended up with that log into the road. So let's edit this one again. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Good to hear. All right, let's see about kind of arranging these a little bit better. I need to probably merge these at some point into one mesh. There's like quite a bunch of actors in here. And I think I might just end up deleting a bunch of these anyways. Oh, thank you so much for asking. I mean, there's still going to be a ways until the release, but I'm definitely hoping of doing the demo within the next few weeks or so. That's at least my hope. And um, so yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I usually don't want to, ask people for like to promise anything to people. I kind of don't like doing that because it's hard to estimate things sometimes. And especially when you want to do something like uh, as good as you can, as good as I can do it. So that's why, um, unfortunately, it's taken me longer than people would want to. But yeah, I'm uh, I'm really hoping that people are gonna like it. So really, really grateful for people being patient because I know it's tough, right? It's so I do use physics, but these were already placed by the original the original developer. So I was just adjusting the terrain to fit them. So yeah, everything else is everything is pretty much in place at the moment. There's like minor things like around here where I would just want to sculpt it out a little bit. Yeah, Atlantica, and that's exactly it. I mean, I um, I do have a day job, right? So I don't rely on crowdfunding for, my daily existence, so to speak. And I totally understand, people that go that route and they need to do crowdfunding because it's difficult, right? I mean, it's a lot of work when it comes to to games. And if you're 100% um, you know working on the game, it's gotta, you know, s- funds have to come from somewhere. And but yeah, to me, I think the main thing is promising something and it's difficult um, when you promise something, and the say the release date comes along, you might disappoint people. So that's why it's I don't want to. I'd rather what is it? Under promise and over deliver. So that's why um, it is difficult work. Do you ever burn out? You know what? Um, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've had like moments that lasted for maybe a day or two when I was like, okay, you know what? I really don't feel like working on the game today. And I just ended up doing like I think I played like a video game or something. It might have been Far Cry 5 at the time. And but after playing it for a few hours, it was just enough for me to get that kind of renewed, okay, okay, I'm gonna go back to my project and do this and that and this and that. So breaks, I think breaks are extremely important, at least, in my case, because um, you can do one thing, continuously. It's extremely difficult. And I think at that point, like you see some of these game studios that they work their developers to the bone because they made a promise of we're gonna release on such date and date. And because if they don't hit it, then there's gonna be like a bunch of people that are gonna either be upset, they're not gonna buy the game anymore, and that's their livelihood basically, right? And yeah, I just don't want I don't want to do that because it's um you know it, I'd rather take longer to make a game and be satisfied with it. And hopefully people are patient enough, and that's why I really appreciate everybody stopping by. Uh, because yeah, I think having people stop by and chatting and just being present, it helps me as well. Like, okay, people are interested, so I'm definitely going to try and do my best to to deliver, the best as I can. And I think that also helps with not feeling burnout, because I do work as much as I can on this, like outside of my day job and, you know, the living responsibilities, so to speak. I This is where all my focus goes, like literally. So yeah, and yes, exactly. That's definitely it. And every now and again, I work a little bit on, no, I work a little, I played a little bit of Far Cry. I just got Far Cry 6 because it was on this, they had this really huge discount, Ubisoft did. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of this and I'm gonna get Far Cry 6. Um, I mean, with that said, it's not Far Cry 5. It's for whatever reason, Far Cry 5 was I enjoyed it a lot much a lot better. Yeah, exactly. That's the same here. I think Far Cry 5 and there's a couple of games that I've really enjoyed over the years. I'd have to say I think Dishonored and Far Cry 5 is top of the list for me. Um, and especially because uh, before playing Dishonored, I played it like I think 10 years after, maybe not 10 years, but at least 8 years after it came out, the first Dishonored, and I really loved that game. And so maybe that's why it was also kind of like that's why liked it so much. But yeah, Far Cry 5 is up there, top 5, top 10, along with the Mafia games and Days Gone. I think those are, yeah, those are definitely top 10 for me, those games. And I think what Dishonored was because previously, prior to Dishonored, I never really played a game that was stealth type of game. And I think Dishonored did it really well. Not that I haven't, I mean, I haven't played other games that are like that, but um, I think if there was a benchmark for me, Dishonored would be one of them. I think, Thief might be one that's like very technical, stealthy game, but uh, Dishonored was, you know, I that was one of the games that I think I loved the most. All right, so we got most of this area. Oh, actually, I forgot these little things here. So I'm just gonna go back in here and edit it real quick. Oh, come on, what else did I select that these don't want to move? All right, so there we go with that. Let's adjust these and kind of put them right on the water's edge. Oh, nice. Yeah, and I did if you should try like the first one. Um, the second one is also really great, story wise and gameplay wise. There's some new mechanics being introduced, but yeah, I mean I definitely recommend Dishonored. It's got more of um it's more fantasy type of stuff. Not fantasy, but like the whole steampunk maybe. I think steampunk might be a good word to describe it. And it's yeah, um, it's got a lot of mechanics, like the stealth mechanics and some like steampunk inspired elements in it. They got this enemy. It's like a clock type of, a clock powered type of mechanoid, humanoid type of thing, like an enemy. So those are are really really awesome to deal with. Oh, that's cool. So that's, like when it comes to Far to Call of Duty, like that was I'm not sure that was a game that I've never really got into for whatever reason. Um, like I used to play, the Counter-Strike type games, but I'm not sure nowadays I don't really enjoy playing multiplayer games anymore. Um, so I'm not sure why. It's just they get boring for me. It's like um, oh, Far Cry. Oh, okay, I see co-op. I was kind of thinking of the just the multiplayer type of game, but yeah, I just haven't played any multiplayer games in forever. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It's just that I do enjoy like playing like a storyline type of video game. Um, you know, difficulty level aside, harder, um, you know, but yeah, when it comes to multiplayer games, um, I just haven't really gotten too much enjoyment out of it. Oh, No Man's Sky. I actually never played that game. I've heard there was like, at least in the beginning, I felt like there were a bunch of just negative things around for that game, but maybe that's not the case anymore. I don't know where it all started from, but it just felt that way when it came out, like a bunch of either issues with the game or some kind of like scandals around the developers. I can't recall what, but I remember they were kind of so I think um, when it comes to space sims, I think I've played oh man, it's been years. So um, oh yeah, there you go. Exactly, that's what it was. That's what it was. Now I remember. Thank you so much for reminding me. So yeah, that's how it goes when you overpromise and underdeliver. It seems like they're doing better now, if I'm not mistaken, at least from what I'm hearing, which is a good thing, I guess. But that's all I know of recent from them. All right. Well, let's create this last road in here to end the stream. So this is going to be coming from here. Hey, Boo the Citizen, welcome, welcome. Hisham, welcome, welcome. Well, my game is a single player story-driven video game. It's called On Your Own, just literally like the name of the stream. And it's you kind of land into this world. Oh, hey, good, good. Boo, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good to have you back. Um, so yeah, um, Hisham, it's um, you start the game basically through a plane crash sequence, and during the plane crash, you can choose between three different locations where you can like jump out of the airplane. And depending on your choice, the game is going to start with a different set of missions. And the idea is once you land into this world, you got to find out what was going on by getting the missions from the NPCs. There's like some of these bad dudes that have taken over this island, and the NPCs are like kind of just in clusters. They're like being kept Like some of them are going to be in this factory area here. Some of them are going to be in this town area here. And so whenever you start the game, you're going to land into three different locations that are outside of these areas. And through missions, you got to find your way in. Get in touch with one of the main NPCs, and so you're going to be getting some more missions from there. And that's the story is going to progress from there. So like I said, three different places that you can fall, and the first few missions are going to be different depending on the place, and then they're going to join into one string, and it's going to continue from there. Hopefully that made sense, Hisham. So yeah, it's a first-person um, action adventure is what I would call it, and yeah. So welcome to one of the streams. I usually stream on the weekends just to show some of the updates from the past week, and kind of some of the mechanics that I've just implemented, uh, some of the some of the new level design aspects that I've done. And during the stream, I kind of show people around. And oh, hey, there you go. Far Cry 5 at home. It's like, but it's that kind of that meme. I hope it's not going to be that way. It's definitely not on that level. But Far Cry 5 is a big inspiration for me. Totally is. Especially like when you look at the environment, Far Cry 5 and Days Gone, biggest inspirations that I've had because I do like that this kind of a world. And exactly, there you go. A heli crash, in that case, that was a heli crash. In like the case of the forest, is the plane crash. In the case of what is it, BioShock is a plane crash. So yeah, there's like a lot of crashes to start a game. But I'm hoping that I can add a little bit of replayability, so to speak, by having these different missions depending on where you choose to crash, well, basically, where you choose to jump out of the airplane. And yeah, that was how I was thinking of starting the game. So yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting to people, and that's my goal. I hope people are gonna like it. I should start my game without a spaceship crash. It's considering, especially in my game, right? And to take Far Cry 5, Days Gone, what was the other one? BioShock, right? You got a limited area that you play in, and how do you get the player into that area? I'm guessing like if you think about it, like Dying Light, well, even Dying Light, like the first Dying Light was also you fall out of the airplane. So literally just the same start. So oh my God, I'm playing only games where you like enter the world uh, through a crash. Oh my God. But like Days Gone, you don't, it's not a crash as much as, there's the cinematic in the beginning, and that's how you start the game. So yeah. Um, yeah, and I feel the same way, Boo Boo. It's uh, once I was done with the main story and the side stories, like I'm right now, and it's been like a year, I think, since I played it. I don't really feel like picking it up again, to be honest. So yeah, and there you go. And some of them I do like a couple of the missions that I planned are like that. The question is how uh, like you were saying, replayable this is going to be. And I'm going to try my best to make it, even without being very replayable, I like to make it as enjoyable as it can be, at least the first time around. And um, probably the first release and the initial release is only going to be one crash point, and then uh, add in the other ones. So that's how I'm planning to do it. Yeah, and exactly. And that's, I like that idea, Boo. Thank you so much to to have that kind of a side stories. I think um, let's see. Oh, no, 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 no. It's totally fine because again, I don't have any training or any experience in game development. Everything is just like from playing video games and from like loving this this type of stuff. So I kind of I love hearing suggestions, I mean, yeah, as you were saying, if I decide to use them or not, that's a different story. But if I don't want to be like in a bubble, hopefully that makes sense as well, where uh, I like sharing this with people because that's how I can get some ideas as well. So I think it's beneficial to me as well. Oh, looking at this crash spaceship. I see. Gotcha, gotcha. So, so you're looking for the crash spaceship. That's interesting. Hisham, so the performance optimization, it's I'm kind of working on that as I go along and as I discover some new methods of like improving performance in the project. So far, there's still a lot of things to do for like performance implementation, but when the game is built, it actually runs at around like between 40 and 50, 45, I would say, 45-ish in this area. So it's um, so far so good. And I do have like a really old video card, so I'm assuming on modern hardware is going to run quite a bit better. But yeah, thank you for asking. Thank you so much for asking. Oh yeah, and Fallout. Like I've played. I think I've played all the Fallout. Maybe not all the Fallout games, but quite a big number of. Like I think I've the main ones. What is it like the three New Vegas and the last one Fallout 4. Those are the ones that I played mostly. Yeah, that's a great point on collectibles. I'm still debating. I was still debating on that. It's more of how hard is it to implement more than anything else. So I'll have to give that a thought once I get to them. Once I get to like the niceties, so to speak. Nope, nope, I did not want to do that. Just wanted to move this one piece here. Yeah, because there is so many things that you can do, um, but sometimes this is, I think, it's kind of the downside um, of um, of working by yourself on something is there's so many awesome things out there that you can do, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not sure. Can I do that as well? No, and it's that's why I stream, it's to get some ideas from people joining and in the end, yeah, some of them I'm gonna end up using, some of them maybe not, but it's always good to have people chime in. And on the other hand, sometimes it's kind of interesting. I whenever I work during the streams, I feel like I've done something really productive. Um, it might not be as much around. Whoops, I don't want that layer actually. It might not be so much around like the gameplay of things because, working on blueprints might not be as visually appealing as, the level design and such. But I feel that I get to work on this level design with everyone on the stream, and I feel like, oh, wow, at the end of the stream, I've done a lot. So it's awesome. Um, I actually wanted to ask you, I wanted to make a horror game in UE5. I'm just not sure how long does it take to learn the engine. I used Godot and Unity before, it just needs some time to learn. Yeah, and you have college as well, so that's always difficult, finding the time. But oh yeah, so you're deciding what engine to use. And it's difficult, right? Because each engine, I think, has its advantages, right? Over the competition. But and that's when I think it becomes difficult to um, to figure out what to go with. Um, I went with Unreal, coming from CryEngine because that was the next. I had other friends that were using Unreal, so it was easy for me to find help and resources, when I was getting started. And I think that's in the end they're all just the tool to for you to create what you think is, your vision, your video game, your project. To me, Unreal works really well, and I got really used to like pretty much all the systems within the engine. There's some things that I don't really use, so um, I didn't really spend too much time on it, on learning or understanding. But it's like I said, if most of your friends are using Godot, I would try looking into that, because it's really easy to reach out to a friend. Hey, you know what? How'd you do that XYZ kind of thing? And so, I mean, that's just a suggestion. Um, I would not do like what I did. Like when I chose the engine, I I chose the engine based on what looked best at the time. And at the time, it happened that CryEngine was like the one with the better graphics. But I learned that Unreal was the one with the better usability, the bigger community and all that. It took me a few years, well, I guess more than a few years to learn that, but here I am. So, having friends that also use it in, professional environments that use Unreal is to me is extremely helpful. Oh, Hisham, I learned everything in Unreal, but blueprints, I just don't know where to start. Um, so I usually recommend folks to follow like tutorial series, and there's a few channels out there. And let me know if I'm repeating myself, Hisham, if I've ever talked about this before in a previous stream, but I know I did. I'm not sure if with you or with somebody else. Um, I want to so Boo Boo, I want to make a tiny horror game in an isolated broadcast station. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, no, I hear you. It's pretty cool. It's a really cool idea. Exams happen, I probably forgot 90% of it. Yeah, that's the one thing that you know, I think and even for me, when I do this daily, it's sometimes it's difficult because you end up forgetting things. And like I haven't touched a certain aspect of the engine in a while, and now that I need to do this, X, Y, and this and that kind of thing in it, I'm like, okay, how did you do this? You know, what did I do for this? And it's kind of difficult, especially even with my own even with my own blueprints. I go back to it and I'm like, how did I do this again? But um, and that part is easy. I mean, if you have me on Discord, at least I can point you in the right direction and maybe give you a couple of pointers on some of those if you'd like. Yeah, and there you go. Atlantica is the same. You also went through the whole the part with CryEngine, and so yeah. Yeah, Bubu, I'd be more than happy to try and point you in the right direction. And Hisham, I'm gonna put in the chat here a couple of the channels that I follow, and that they have some really good tutorial series. Because I think it's easier to learn by, going um, through a series of tutorials that kind of starts you from, well, how do you reference the player? How do you add a weapon to the player? How do you do an interaction with an object? How do you create a basic inventory? And so once you learn these basics, and that's how I started, I learned some of these basics, and then I was able to start using assets from the marketplace, because my inventory was, poor. It was working, I was able to pick stuff off of the ground, like a weapon, a bread, and be able to equip it or use it, kind of show it in the inventory. But then, it was really basic. And I ended up, using some of the things on the marketplace that I ended up, tweaking, adjusting. And by that time, I was comfortable with the blueprint coding. So what about the AIs? So AI is also it's not that complicated. The logic behind it it feels complicated at times. So when you have a behavior tree, is how do you decide, okay, because it's literally like a tree, right? What takes precedence over what? Am I going to focus on the player, then equip the weapon, then attack, and then run after him? What's the sequence? So that's why sometimes behavior trees are a little bit intimidating. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest. Because it's literally just a decision tree, right? If I can see the player, I'm going to equip the weapon, then I'm going to fire. And every time I'm going to check to see if I still have bullets. Run out of bullets, I'm going to go on this other branch, and then I'm going to do a melee attack. I can't see the player, I'm just going to do patrolling and stuff like that. And Ryan Laley has a good series on this. Like Hisham, Ryan Laley has a really good series. Like I always reference it and go back to it about AIs. So check it out if you're interested. I know Unreal 5 has amazing graphics, but is it worth it to do uh, what's PSX? I'm sorry, I don't know what PSX is. And yeah, that's another thing. Another thing that, just like Lenica mentioned, they do have these really awesome assets every month for free. Oh, PlayStation 1 style basics. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. There's like a lot of games out there that I think are that I made with Unreal, and they do that type of graphics. But before you choose an engine, what I would suggest is don't look at which looks better, because nowadays they all look really good. So just look at how easy it is to set your mind on a mechanic, like a specific mechanic for your video game, um, and see how easy it is to implement in either one of the engines, and how easy it is to find resources to figure out how to do it. And I think that would be your choice, to be honest. I mean, um, hopefully that gives you an idea. I don't want to set you on the wrong path with Unreal, right? But what I would suggest is if you don't have your mind set on an engine, is to try creating a mechanic and see which one is easiest to do and then easiest to maintain or like maybe add features to. Oh, Hisham, using the marketplace assets for trees. I'm using it's called the Nordic conifer biome, and I think I've talked about this in previous streams. This developer has, I think, the best price to quality ratio on the marketplace when it comes, especially when it comes to organic acid. I'm going to call them organic, but to natural assets. I think their stuff. I'm not sure if he's by himself or he's got other people working with him, but his stuff is probably the best on the marketplace. And I actually have a couple of packages from him. And at the same time, performance. Like as far as performance, his stuff is because I got a lot of vegetation assets, through the monthly free assets that Atlantica just mentioned. And his stuff is by far the best performing one out of everything and the most like consistent in look. And so yeah. And the other thing is they also have sales quite often, which is also nice because I got this one on a sale. And I think the sale ends up costing like 25 bucks for this package or something like that. Pixel Goat. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I think that's what it is. I believe, let me make sure that, but I think that's Nordic. Yeah, the Pixel Goat store. That's him, or them, or she. Not sure, but yeah, that's that's the one. So and all the other packages that I have from them is they're awesome. Like the quality is really good, and and the main thing is it performs really well. Like I was surprised how well it performs. Like they're really optimized. Uh, do you think how to change the textures resolution depending on the scalability settings? I think that's actually, if I recall correctly, is like a built-in setting for the engine. And I do use I believe there was like a free package at some point because I have so many, like every month, there's like a new set of packages. And I got a package, like a free package for settings at some point, and that's what I use it. That updates the settings from my main menu. Boo Boo is making nav mesh complicated in this engine, and how is it implemented? It's actually really easy. It's literally just a drag and drop. So you drag and drop the. I can show you if you'd like. Let me just finish this off here real quick. 1 second, because I'm also going to end the stream here shortly. So I might as well just end up with showing you how that is done. And if you have some more questions, tomorrow I'm going to be here. Let's see, left side fall off. Is it on the right? I think it might be on the right. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, well, we got this road in here. All right, so let's just gonna jump here in my test level and I'll show you oh yeah, no problem, no problem, my pleasure. I'll show you what how I did it because there's like a couple of things to think about. So first is gonna be the nav mesh. So it's this thing here, right? It usually needs to encompass the playable area, right? And so this is, I think it's literally called a nav mesh bounds volume. So if you were to place actors, nav mesh bounds volume, that's what it's called. Now, the way I do it is, um, let's jump into game mode. Actually, let me show you the main character first because what I'm using is to oh yeah, hey, thank you, Hisham. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, same time tomorrow. Hopefully it works for you as well. So, hey, Omiyaki, welcome, welcome. Unfortunately, we're just getting close to the end of the stream here, but welcome. So one thing that I wanted to show you here, what I'm using with this is this navigation invoker. And what this does is everything within this generation radius, it actually um, enables the AI within that area. So basically, anything outside of it is not going to do anything. So let me show you. I can show it to you real quick. So if I jump into game mode, there's the enemy right there. Oops, I don't want him to see me. But if I'm going to move far away, let me just go into third person here real quick. You'll see that, see how he stammers a little bit? It's not moving as much as before. And once I get to this point, he's gone. So at this point, the character is no longer being processed. And this is also, and let me just exit out of this and I'll show you something else. So everything within this, what the navigation invokers do, everything within this area is what would, they're basically they're because it's literally called a brain. So their brain would actually work and send signals to the behavior tree. Basically, okay, go there. I can see you. I'm gonna put the weapon, shoot, whatever. And that's what the navigation invokers do. Without it, everything within that nav mesh bounds volume would be ticking and actually trying to do something. Along with this, what I'm using is, and this was again another free package on the marketplace, on each one of my enemies, let me see, where did I put it? Or each one of my NPCs, I'd rather say. So yeah, let me stop this because you've seen what I'm showing to you with the navigation invokers. But on my NPCs, what I have, there is also, come on, let's open this up. And this is just an old thing. Let's see, where is it? NPC. Where did I put it? Okay, so in each one of the NPCs, there was this free package at one point called an optimization proxy. And what this does is, um, depending on, again, on your distance to, and there's like a bunch of settings here, depending on your distance to the um, uh, the other character, like for example, I spawn into game and I don't want to see uh, this character, you know, running all of its bones, because each bone has to tick, in order to move. When I'm far away, I'm not going to be able for starters to see it very well. And second, for optimization purposes, I only want to see them moving their arms or their head or something like that when I'm at a certain distance. And that's what this component does, this optimization proxy. And that's why when it comes to, free assets on, I'm not sure if, say, for example, Unity does this, where you have, monthly free assets. And if you think about it, like I got a lot of stuff from that, like I have another component that I want to implement that is for saving. And that was a free asset some months ago. I can't recall how long ago. And I was just, because, I'm currently, planning on implementing the save part as well. Mine right now is very basic. And, looking back through I was looking on the marketplace and I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. I might just buy this one. But then I thought, let me just look through what I already have, and actually found one which is really well rated on the marketplace. And if you were to get it to pay for it, I think it's like 150 bucks, and it was free. So yeah, that's another thing to consider is like the availability of marketplace assets and how they can help you with your task. Because in the end, time is time, right? Um, oh man, yeah, that and don't feel bad about it. I mean, there's a ton of sales that Epic has. Like literally, they have sales year round going on. And I just have like a list of things that I want to get, and I just wait for a sale. And sometimes they can go to like, 70% off, which, great. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you when it comes to like the navigation mesh bounds volume. That's how you actually get an AI to move to a location, right? So, um, yeah. Um, do you mean like these things? This is particles. And yeah, they're not planes. You see, like there's no animation at the moment, so it's just like some crows around the world. So that's all they do. That's it. Yeah. If that Boo Boo, if that's the one that you were looking at, like that guy just flew over my head, but that hopefully that's what you were asking. The Purge game, does Unreal usually have better praise assets than Unity? You know what? I don't know. I because I don't follow the Unity marketplace, so I couldn't tell you. I think it might be bigger than the Unity marketplace when it comes to like the variety of assets. But you know, let me put it this way: one of the reasons that I'm kind of iffy about recommending Unity, and this is not just from a technical standpoint at all. It's from a business standpoint and how if you probably heard of like the Road to Tarkov, I believe is the name of the game. So that developer was working in Unity and he made a ton of progress. Like he's got a ton of followers. I think that game is he's gonna become a millionaire or something once the game comes out. But the um, the people over at Unity, they made some changes recently to how things were priced. They made it a little bit more fuzzy, or there was some kind of there was a pretty big thing with that. And he wasn't happy with that, so he moved to Godot. Like he moved his entire, I'm not sure how many years of or months of work, and he moved all of that to Godot just because of that. So um, I think um, the fees per install, yeah, that's I don't I hope Unreal is not gonna go that right route, but um, that part is really low. Like that's a really low bar, and I don't like that. Like I'm saying, I'm hoping that um, Epic is gonna, you know, keep their current licensing thing because I think it works for them, and you know they make a lot of money. But and so the $100,000, I think that's for Unreal as well. I'm not sure about Unity how that works, but yeah, I I think the 100,000 bar seems to be like a marketing thing for a lot of companies out there. I think CryEngine's uh, license is also similar to that. And but I'm not sure if I think Unreal might have been like 1 million. I can't recall what it is, but yeah, it's a lot better written, I think, than what the latest change with Unity was. So yeah, if I was to, let's say tomorrow Unreal falls off the cliff and I can't develop in Unreal, I'm probably gonna go with Godot, to be honest, because that's also a really big community and which is great. So it probably doesn't have the marketplace of Unreal. And but you know, taking everything that I've learned in Unreal, uh, I think I could make things work in Godot. But yeah, hopefully we're just doomsday talking here, and that's not gonna happen. But yeah, yeah, and Godot is free. That's the other thing. You know, Godot is free, which is awesome. And there's some really promising projects being built in Godot. So the potential it has the potential, no doubt, totally. So yeah, I think so, guys. I think that's gonna be it for me for today. I need to get some water, but I hope to see you tomorrow and with some further updates. I hope to yeah. Thank you, Atlantica. Happy Saturday, everybody, and I hope to have this little flight sequence worked out a little bit better, uh, and um, and also kind of once you land the first little bit of interaction with an NPC to um, to get you kind of your basics, kind of picking up the I was hoping to do that today, but I just didn't get around to it. You know, so the first part would be, once you land the first NPC that you meet to tell you to pick up um, the little tablet that you use for your missions and for your compass type of thing. So, well, thank you, Paresh. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, and like I said, I try to stream every Saturday and Sunday, at least every Saturday. If anything comes up on Sunday, I usually don't post, but I usually post it on my Discord ahead of time and then, schedule it here on YouTube. So, yeah. Hope to see you around. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I can, show you around, show you what I did. It might not be the best thing, but it's like how did you do that? This is how I did it. So, okay. All right, everybody. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Have a great rest of your day or evening. All right. Take care. Bye.